All right, so we're on exercise 32, and you'll notice this data pretty much matches what you'll see on page 366 of the workbook and under SPSS computations. And this data comes from on the bottom of page 362, or no, page 364. On the bottom of page 364, you'll see table 32.1. And one thing you'll notice that's most definitely different is table 32.1 has that last column where it shows the difference scores, which is the difference between this column here and this column here for each respective row. So that column is not needed. So there's no last column here, which is in table 32.1. And which is unneeded. It's not needed at all for in SPSS because all that computations of finding the difference is done for you with what we're about to do. And you'll notice in exercise 32, we're dealing with comparing t-tests for paired, which is dependent samples, which means that there's a natural pairing between the rows. So each ID has like a before and an after, a baseline and then a post score. So there's a natural pairing, and when there's a natural pairing, we say that there's a dependence between this column and this column, and there's a natural pairing that we can identify. So that is at least one of the criteria to be a dependent paired samples, and to use this t-test we're about to use. Okay, so we're on page 366. And looking at step 1, from the Analyze menu, we would go to the Comparing Means, because we're still comparing means. Oh, there it is. And we are doing the paired sample t-test. Okay, so here, step 2, move both variables over to the right as in the window below. So that's what's explained on page 367 for step 2. And so we would want to do the baseline and then the post for variable 2. So that is the natural pairing that we have. And we're only going to have one pair. We won't be dealing with having multiple pairs. It just gets more complicated, and we won't be seeing any examples like that. So this is what we'll be dealing with. And so that's step 2, just moving them over. And you want the pre for variable 1 or the baseline, and the post score for variable 2 variable. So anyways, that's it. And then we'll want to hit OK. And then we should get our output. So here is the paired sample statistics. And you'll notice that the first table that comes up is the first table you'll see in the interpretation. And then the second table here is what you'll see in the second table, which is on the bottom of page 367. And then the last table here is what you'll see on the top of page 368. And you'll notice that we have all the same values. It looks pretty good. All right, so that's what you need to do to get the output that you'll see on the bottom of page 367 and top of 368. Be sure to read all the wording around it and the interpretations involved, and go over the study questions. And like exercise 31, you'll need to use, happens to be problem 2 for the study question again, we'll be using the Shapiro-Wilk test for normality, which was discussed in exercise 26. So you'll be using previously used SPSS computations that we've discussed in previous videos and previous weeks. So anyways, that's it. Let me know if you have any concerns. And one last thing. After the answers to study questions, you'll notice on page 373, similar to exercise 31, there is a different table that you'll be using, a table of data that you'll be using for these questions to be graded. So you're not using the data that I have right here. You're not using this data to do the questions to be graded. You have a separate table 2, on page 373. And similarly to what we just did here, you'll be ignoring the last column, the different scores in the question for the questions to be graded. So you just need those first 3 columns, similar to what we did here. All right, let me know if you have any concerns. I'll be more than happy to help.